Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the planet and its people for nearly 50 years. Earth Justice has 150 full-time lawyers fighting in court for our planet's future and representing all clients free of charge. Until people come before profit, all energy is clean, the wild is truly free, and justice stands for all. Earth Justice will never rest. Learn more at earthjustice.org/neverrest. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Well, yesterday afternoon was a tough afternoon. Boy, you know, you since you're so in touch with the news, just to pick up your phone like I did and just see the really, really sad news that Seattle Seahawks owner and Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen had passed away.
Yeah.
65 years old due to complications from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
I know, I saw it. You know, as you always do on your phone, you pull up Twitter and I start seeing people, constant flow of people just talking about Paul Allen. I'm like, what the hell happened to you? At first I thought, maybe some kind of cool accolade happened. And then you start seeing the type of way they're discussing him and saying was, and just like, no. Because it just didn't think, I don't know, I just didn't have it in my head that he was battling it to the point where he could die.
Yeah, he said that they were very optimistic. A couple of weeks ago, he had released a statement on his own Twitter page. Yep. Just said, personal news, my non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is back, but my caregivers are optimistic. So it was a surprise. At least to us. I mean, it might not have been a surprise to people close to him, but based on his statement, it was a surprise.
Yeah, some feel, I think, because there's been a lot of like little shakeups within the management, and not only with the Seahawks, but with just everything that he does, that some believe that he was doing that to make sure that things were going to be set in place and in a good spot, just in case something awful like this happened.
Yeah, his sister Jody released a statement saying, quote, "My brother was a remarkable individual on every level. While most knew Paul Allen as a technologist and philanthropist, for us, he was a much-loved brother and uncle and an exceptional friend." And she goes on to say, Paul's family and friends were blessed to experience his wit, warmth, his generosity, and deep concern. For all the demands on his schedule, there was always time for family and friends. That's, what I always wonder about that. I thought, how would that guy ever make time to do anything? Because he's just all over the place doing so many things. And I'm happy to hear that, he was still able to spend time with his family and his friends like I think any human being, no matter where they are in life, would want to do. I
didn't keep tabs on his personal stuff at all until after the news came out. I didn't even know that he wasn't married, didn't have any kids, or anything along those lines.
I didn't know either, but I never remembered hearing about like a wife or children. That's right. The thing. Whereas with Bill and Melinda Gates, the other co-founder, of course, of Microsoft, they've got kids. Of course, that Bill and Melinda are married. So I wasn't sure if Paul was just a mystery guy, and I thought, but I hadn't seen anything or just didn't remember anything. So as it turns out, no, he was just, really, I guess, married to his career, his life, but also a very good uncle and loved his family in that way.
And just based on some of the tributes that I read from some of the former and current Seahawk players, it sounds like, not only did he have time for all of his family and friends, but all the players as well. A lot of them seem to have the same sentiment that he never really talked to them about football. He just cared about them as human beings and on their personal level, and always was willing to he was very philanthropic, as you mentioned. I think like the Seahawks announced he's donated over $20 million to different charities, and he was always very giving to the players' causes as well. I know Cliff Averill talked very highly of him on the NFL Network, and it was cool to see the NFL Network spend so much time dedicated to Paul Allen. I spent most of my afternoon watching the tributes and the stories that they were sharing, and it was cool to see that.
Look, pal, I don't think you should short sheet him on this. I mean, according to the Seahawks website, it's over $2 billion.
My bad.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, he really did step it up, and that's you love to see that, a person that has the kind of success that he had, touching people's lives, as a human being, human to human, and then of course also from a financial standpoint. I don't think he can do much better. I
think he saved the Seahawks. I mean,
definitely.
Let's not forget that. 96, it was 1 foot out the door, almost both feet out the door, and he swooped in and did it for the community. I mean, and also, as a music guy, the Mopop or EMP was his brainchild, and obviously tech people with Microsoft. I mean, he had his hand in so many different things. South Lake Union, it's his stamp of Vulcan Enterprises.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of with the last one leaving, the Boeing thing, turn out the lights, the last one leaving, the idea that Seattle might have been just like going down the toilet. Microsoft really, made this city, and it's a glorious, wonderful city with a land, and of course we have an incredible footprint in the world of business. You got to give Microsoft credit for that, and Paul Allen was that guy, and like you said, all the other things. Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, actually released a nice statement talking about what you said. He was the driving force keeping the NFL here in the Pacific Northwest. Helped make CenturyLink happen, which is an awesome place. And of course, we went to 3 Super Bowls,
winning one of them.
Yeah, and
what was it before he took over ownership? I think they made the playoffs just 4 times, and it was not a very storied franchise, obviously.
Yeah. So they're also saying that the raising of the 12th man flag at the start of every Hawks game, home game, was Paul's tribute to the extraordinary fan base in the Seattle community. So that was a cool idea.
I was just talking with D. Ted Smith. I think it was on the Megacast, or maybe it was even just us just BSing, just talking about the Seahawks. And we were having a conversation about the most powerful 12th man flag raising, because, Cam Chancellor just did it, and that was a pretty powerful one.
Yeah.
But I said, I contend still, there's none more powerful. And you were there with me when I think it was the Carolina Panthers game, and I think they ended up doing it. It became a tradition for all the NFC Championship games, the one against the 49ers before they went off to win the Super Bowl, and then the one against the Green Bay Packers as well. They did the same video package, and the 12th man flag raising ceremony was with Paul Allen.
Yeah.
And it was just that moment when he says he saved the Seahawks. I mean, I got goosebumps right now, and I remember it was like super emotional, especially that first time with the first run back in 2005. And I remember just looking around, everybody was just jacked, because you just realized, had it not been for Paul Allen, none of this would be happening.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Definitely will be missed. And again, if you didn't hear yesterday, Paul Allen passed away at the age of 65 due to complications from his non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which did come back. And he and his caregivers were optimistic when he released that information a couple of weeks ago. But as it turns out, he didn't survive that battle.
And I hear that the non-Hodgkin's is the one that can hit you quick too. And it's
the blood cell stuff.
Yeah. And somebody texted, of course, and agreed. Don't forget the Trailblazers. I'm a huge fan of the Seahawks and the Trailblazers. Paul Allen is a huge loss to me. He's more of from what I've heard, he's more of a basketball guy. So the Trailblazers was like, that was his thing. But obviously the football became a big thing to him, but he did that more for the community, because he knew that it would be just too much of a loss for Seattle to not have the Seahawks around. And he had something to do with the Sounders as well. Yeah,
that's a good point. And I really believe the Sonics would still be here if he got a chance to buy them instead of the Blazers, obviously. But that's just the kind of, that's the kind of guy he was. Really, and appreciated what sports did for the community. We've talked about it before in this show. Seattle, because I've been here for about 20 years, Seattle proper hasn't always appreciated what sports can do for a city, as we know, as far as like leaders in our government. But Paul Allen did. He knew how important sports was to a community.
Sports and arts. I mean, music was a huge part of him. He's a guitarist. He's a huge Jimi Hendrix fan.
You're right. He didn't sacrifice either for either. He really felt they both were important. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a great message. And eventually, I think that was a message that I think our leaders finally got. He led by example. It's not like he went out there and, I whined a lot about it when we lost the Sonics, and I whined at government. But Paul just went out there and set the example and said, why can't we have both? And you're right, he did that. And I love Mopop, and of course the Science Fiction Museum, because he was a big sci-fi fan. So as a geek, I also appreciated what he contributed, because that's a great museum for that.
The guy just was like, he covered everything for every dude.
Yeah, he really did.
If you were a geek, he had something to do with you. If you were a jock kind of a guy, he had something to do with you. If you were a music freak, he had something to do with you as well.
When you think about, like, if you're a guy, how would you like to be? You just covered it. I mean, the man of all people.
And he was rich as F.
There's that too.
Yeah. I mean, what are you, like $20 billion?
And some guys also think that he had the great bachelor lifestyle, too. Some guys would go, why didn't I choose that path as opposed to where I went? But so Paul had it all. And, it says 65 years. I guess, if I got to only live 65 years, that's a great life to have. Paul Allen passed away at the age of 65 yesterday. I got to talk about this father who found out that when you call a kid's toy hotline, it rings a sex phone line. Yeah, Well, Steve's got the news for you. I'll tell you all about it at 6:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle.
Well, he's no Pulitzer Prize winner. Hell, he can't even pronounce Pulitzer. This is News with Steve Miggs.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks to Kia of Puyallup for giving us news and sports. And, hey, happy National Face Your Fears Day.
Yeah.
Ooh. What would you face if you had to face your fears today, BJ?
What do I face if I had to face my fears? Heights.
Heights?
Yeah, I'm really afraid.
Ooh, you got to go to the Space Needle then.
Yeah, I do, and I'm like nervous as all hell when I go up there, but I do.
Have you seen that new rock movie? What's the movie?
Skyscraper, yeah.
Have you seen it?
I have. I've seen the previews.
Oh, there's a scene in the movie where he goes to, obviously it's about a skyscraper, and there's a part, it's called like the Orb or something like that, and it becomes like this weird video room, but it makes it look like as if you're standing on top of the skyscraper and there's nothing around you. I was like, I don't know if I can handle that, even if it's like a VR type thing. That would freak me out.
I actually have played some VR games where they put me way up top, and it is wild how it really feels like you're up there. Yeah, it's trippy.
What about you, Rev?
Fear of commitment.
What?
Oh, you did it.
Well, best of luck in your marriage then, huh? Sheesh.
Yeah. Thought he'd be done with that by now.
Fear of commitment. You've had a job that you've been committed to for, 12 years. You're married, so you committed to a woman for the rest of your life.
And I've been with her for about 10 years now.
And you got a mortgage.
Well, what is your fear of commitment? Yeah. What are you afraid to commit to at this point? You've committed to all the big things already.
I guess it's the fear of going... I don't know now. You just made me rethink everything.
Oh, no.
I thought I was afraid of commitment, and apparently I'm not.
This just in. Rev sells his house, gets divorced, and quits his job. All because Steve questioned his fear of commitment.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
That if he really believed that he had all that, it's like, yeah, You've actually done that, buddy.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah,
I beat it.
You've overcome that fear, pal.
Works for me.
Mine was always a dumb one. I always had the biggest fear of being upside down. What? As a kid, I would just get hung upside down by my brother, and it would freak me out. So I was afraid of being hung upside down. He treated me like I was Vanilla Ice, and he was Suge Knight.
Oh,
yeah.
Was he always trying to get money out of your pocket?
Yes, and I had nothing, so I don't know why he was doing this. So then roller coasters were a big fear for me.
Oh, that makes sense.
So then once I was able to conquer that, it was like such a great feeling to be able to be upside down. And now with wrestling training, I'm upside down a lot.
Honestly, your life is charmed.
Why?
Because that is not that big of a fear to overcome.
What is your fear? From heights?
You could fall and die.
Hey, if he's afraid of
so
something,
I could be dropped on my head and die.
I'm afraid of people picking me up. Everyone likes to throw me around.
See?
And not in a sexy way.
You're afraid of people picking you up?
Yeah, people they're like, you're so tiny, let me pick you up. But I'm afraid they're going to drop me.
Okay, I just don't know if you.
Oh, but it's not like a fear of heights, so it's not.
Or a fear of commitment. Those are big fears.
I mean, from the guy who's committed to everything.
That's why he's a success.
Again, if I'm afraid of it, it's a real fear.
All right, Danny, what's your fear?
Whales.
See,
Whales.
That's a legitimate fear.
Yeah, I agree. That is a legitimate fear.
Yeah, they're going to eat me, and they are big. I'm scared of them.
Aren't their throats too small to eat a human?
Yeah. Haven't you seen the documentary Pinocchio?
Well, let's test it.
Yeah, you should go get
Danny, you want to go to San Juan's?
No.
All right.
How is it that, like, of all the things you know, Vicky, you know about a whale's throat and its swallowing capacity? I mean, that's...
Oh, Vicky knows a lot about swallowing.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Forgot about that.
Well, I think his fear was calling a children's toy line and finding out that it's actually a phone sex line.
What?
This happened in Edmonton, Canada. A toll-free number that was printed on a popular children's toy, which I don't even know this toy, but I need to own it. Poopsie Slime Surprise.
Oh, Poopsie.
But it gave one dad an X-rated surprise when he decided to call it. So whoever calls these lines, you know what I mean? Like, hey, let me call about this
maybe
and that.
Poopsie's sliding a little too much.
The phone number is at 888 too much. And then he calls it, and, well, it was too much.
Oh,
Too much sex. And the dad, he recorded the experience, and here's how it sounded like.
Okay, so there's this toy called Poopsie Slime Surprise. It's a kid's toy. My 11-year-old daughter got this. There's a phone number on there, 1-888-TOO-MUCH. So let's make sure we get the number in there. Let's see what happens.
I've been waiting for your call.
Oh, nice.
Want me to send you a sexy pic of me?
Yeah.
Press 1 now to receive naughty XXX stuff. Are you ready for some tantalizing fun?
Yeah, but maybe not that kind.
He didn't sound creepy at all.
No, not at
Yeah.
all. Yeah, he's you know what? As much as you want to be outraged, he doesn't sound that outraged.
Yeah, 45 minutes later, after he finished figuring out what this phone line was all about, that's when he decided to report.
Yeah, exactly. He was
about it.
So, and more importantly, Steve, do we know about this Poopsie Slime Surprise?
It makes unicorn poop, according to this story. It comes in 10 magical surprises: slime powder and unicorn magic. It's a collectible bottle and a poop character keychain, mystery scent dropper, unicorn spoon, and a collector sheet.
Oh, Vicky
It's
smiling.
basically slime, and then you put glitter in it, and it comes with a little poop keychain. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's called the Poopsie Slime Surprise.
Nope.
Yeah, Vicky wants this for her birthday
Yes,
and
I
for
do.
her Christmas.
Somebody's making money off of that.
Yes, they are.
The glitter one.
Hey, someone's making money off of their helpline, too.
That is
It's
a good
double
point.
duty.
Well, I guess he talked finally to somebody from that phone sex line, and they worked out a deal where they now redirected that number to a more kid-friendly message.
Oh.
So things are okay now.
One of the bottles looks like Dunkin' Donuts, but it says Dunkin' Deuce.
So it's all about just making like things look like poop.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Look at Vicky. It doesn't take much.
Oh, yeah.
Well, poop is funny.
It's the early bird turds. We got a Starbucks themed one, a Dunkin' Donuts themed one,
Yeah.
and a milk themed one.
There we go.
All right. Like you mentioned earlier, unfortunate news for all of us here in the Northwest to find out that Paul Allen passed away. He lost his battle with a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma at the age of 65. Of course, Paul known for being Microsoft's co-founder, but also the owner of the Seattle Seahawks. And a lot of people are now wondering what's happening with the Seahawks. Nothing has been officially put out yet. Obviously, people are grieving and trying to figure things out, but there has been some talks because they feel that there was a major shakeup that happened a week before he announced that he was battling it again, that probably was done to put things in place so that the Seahawks and also the Trailblazers and everything else that he's involved with is going to be in good hands. Some, though, are saying, though, with his sister taking charge of some things, there's rumors that she might want to sell stuff, and who knows. So, obviously, more stuff will come out as time goes on. But from everything I'm reading, it makes it sound like as if he put things in place that the Seahawks will be fine.
Yeah.
A lot of the players are commenting, of course, about the passing of Paul Allen. Russell Wilson said, "We've lost a great friend and a giant. Mr. Allen, thank you for your extraordinary vision, your abundant generosity, and believing in all of us. By your example, you made us all better, kinder. May you rest in peace. Go Hawks." Frank Clark, he said, "Rest in peace to the man in charge of it all. Mr. Paul Allen, I hope we sent you out with high praises with our victory yesterday in London. With you with the Most High now. No pain, no more pain required." Also, some former players chiming in, which is, I think, a real testament to what Paul Allen was. He was a very hands-off owner. He was more about just getting to know the players, but he let the management do the management stuff, which is a very smart recipe.
Yeah.
And not a lot of owners follow that, so it was always a really cool thing that he was very hands-off with the team. But Marshawn Lynch said, "Big dog, rest easy as you go home. Prayers for your family." Michael Bennett said, "I'll always be thankful for Paul Allen's generosity and his kind heart. He was a genius, a genuine person who cared about humanity all over the world, and was an honor to be able to learn from and be around such a great leader."
Well, that says a lot because those two guys right there, Marshawn Lynch and Michael Bennett, are very outspoken or in their own way. And you would think they're, if anybody would have a bad thing to say, you'd think, okay, it would maybe come from somebody of those type of personalities. So I think it's amazing how he touched their lives to the point where they were like, yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, you would figure if they had issues, nothing would be said, or they just kind of would have kept it brief or whatever. But I mean, especially Michael Bennett was very heartfelt. And I mean, even Marshawn Lynch, a guy who doesn't really do a lot of talking, I think in his world, a full sentence is very heartf30.
Yeah, you're right. That's big.
Last night there was some football to be played, and it looked like the San Francisco 49ers were going to beat the Green Bay Packers. They were up 30-23 towards the end of the game, and then Aaron Rodgers was like, okay, now I'm going to start playing really awesome.
Yeah.
And ends up tying the game at 30. And then it looks like the 49ers are making their way down, and things are looking good for them. Big interception at the 10-yard line. Aaron Rodgers takes over again, sets it up for a field goal for their kicker, Mason Crosby, who missed 4 last week. but hit this one as the Green Bay Packers beat the San Francisco 49ers last night, 33-30. I know you were probably watching some baseball yesterday.
Yeah, watching a little baseball, watching the Brew Crew make it look good.
Another big win for them. They have a 2-1 lead over the LA Dodgers in Game 3 of the NLCS. They're playing again tonight on Fox Sports 1 at 6:09, very specific time once again. That is Game 4. Game 3 for the ALCS, your Boston Red Sox taking on the Houston Astros. That game's at 2:09 today.
Very specific time.
Yes, on TBS. So there you go. Boston's got a 2-1 series lead?
No, it's 1-1.
Oh, that's right, because it's Game 3 coming up.
Yeah. But you know what? I'll take the 2-1, Steve. I'll take your prognostication. I like that.
And speaking of baseball, congratulations, Nelson Cruz. He's a full-on American now.
Oh, wow. He and Felix this year.
That's right. He just announced on his Instagram page that he was sworn in as a U.S. citizen. So congratulations to him and Felix, like you mentioned, who did it earlier back in September.
Yeah.
And as far as weather, 70 degrees and sunny today. Thank you, Law Tigers, for giving us news and sports.
Yeah, that's insane that we're having this good weather.
We went to Maris Farms yesterday to walk around.
Oh, yeah, how you
pick out some pumpkins, do the corn maze. We dressed what we thought was appropriate. Man, I was sweating down my back and everywhere.
Oh, you had to you didn't do layers, did you?
Oh, no, I was able to take off my shirt. So
good for you.
So if you saw that shirtless man walking around carrying pumpkins, that was me.
Excellent.
Wow. Yeah. No.
Pumpkin shirtless guy. What's bigger, the pumpkin or the extraordinarily large nipples? That's what we want to know.
They were blinding.
Yeah, they were.
People had to put their sunglasses on. And I got to see my pig.
Oh, little Mickey, how'd he do?
He was sleeping.
Oh, you know what? Sarah told you that would be the case.
Yep, they were all sleeping.
Well, you know, little Mickey's, he's popular. He's probably all worn out.
Saw the goats. They were awake.
Oh, you saw the goats, did you?
Yes.
You look very happy about that.
Oh, I love going to the pumpkin patch, man.
Pumpkin patch is good. Yeah, it's very, very good. Did you do the corn maze, or is that just...
we did the corn maze.
Good for you.
It was cool because we did it in the middle of the day, so it wasn't like a cluster F, because sometimes you go and it's busy, so you're kind of at the mercy of where people are walking, so we got to just kind of take our time and have some fun with that. But unfortunately, some of the stores weren't open to eat, so I couldn't get my hands on a turkey leg.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer. At least you get a corn on the cob?
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, that's good. All right. For me, I look, the turkey
kettle
leg is
corn's
awesome.
available. The corn on the cob was available.
Yeah, the kettle corn. The corn on the cob. If I can't get that, then I might have, I might be flipping a table. That's cool.
Somebody was very sad about something. Guys.
Oh, really?
He said, you guys didn't do the Law Tigers tiger sound. I'm very disappointed.
There you go.
There you go.
Law Tigers. And, of course, last night, look, Richard Sherman did a great job for us, but I'm happy that his penalty was one of the reasons why the Niners lost. I'm just happy because it's like, yeah, you know what? It's just good to see that he's not as helpful as he thinks he is.
Spoken like a true bitter Seattle sports fan.
No doubt about it.
I think a lot of Seahawks fans are like, yeah,
I was so happy to see that. Look, and I will always love Richard Sherman for what he contributed to this team. I'm not angry at him, but I sure as heck do like it when I see him not do well.
Of course.
I do like that. Yeah,
it doesn't hurt anybody. It's not like you're not wishing injury on the guy. You just want to see him fail on the field.
That's all I want. That's all I want to see.
It's a very mature way to do things.
Exactly.
I'm with you, though. It was a lot of fun seeing that.
Yeah. And of course, you got.
And he didn't get thrown at it towards his direction for most of that game. So the guy still got a.
He's still got a rep.
Yes.
Yeah, he's still got a rep, and I was very surprised and then not surprised. It's like, oh, look at the Niners. They snatched defeat from the claws of victory. Good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought for sure they were going to go down and win it at the end.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay. Oh no, they won't. Mm-mm. And then Aaron Rodgers he's just insane. Those last few passes, that's what he's got to do. He's got to pass to the sideline. And 3-4 in a row? I can't remember, but he just I'm going to go throw the sideline, guys. All right. And he throws the sideline, and they make the reception. And you're just like, okay.
No, great catches, great field awareness. Everything about it was just, you couldn't ask for a better run drive.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, so I was flipping back and forth between that game and the Brewers game, and I'm excited for the Brewers too because you haven't heard them in forever when it comes to baseball. So it's fun to see that that's happening, and a middle market team that doesn't have the big money like the LAs and the Bostons and the New Yorks have. So you kind of root for them. You're rooting for them too, aren't you?
It's very apparent that they're doing well because I've become a fan of the Milwaukee Brewers just for the postseason. I'm not going to stick with them after this is set. It's a temporary fan.
So you and I could be enemies if the Red Sox are fortunate enough to get by the Astros.
Yes,
and the Brew Crew keep it up against the Dodgers. You and I will be enemies.
And I have been approved to be a member of the fan. The fan.
Oh, really?
club.
How'd you get approved?
By some hot chick that's a Brewers fan. I guess she's taking applications.
What?
I don't know. Somebody tagged me in her thing, and some Megan, the Brewers fan.
Oh, okay.
And she's verified, so I don't know what the hell who the hell she is.
Oh, she's verified because she's got a great picture of her and her cleavage. That's why she's verified.
I don't know, but a listener tagged me in it, and she approved my fandom.
Oh, look at this.
So I'm in. I don't even know who the hell she is, but she's verified on Twitter.
She's a very attractive Brewers fan. I can see why you want to be part of her club.
Well, I didn't even know who the hell she was until then, but now.
And she's verified, huh?
Yes.
How many followers does she have?
She's got 27,000 followers.
What? Who is she?
I don't know. Well, she's an attractive girl. That helps the followers.
Yeah, you're right. 20.
That girl, Megan.
Yeah, if I was somewhat attractive, I'd probably have a lot more followers. We don't even know who she is. She's got more followers than I'll ever have.
She's a lover of the Brewers, and she was taking applications for bandwagon fans, and a listener tagged me on there, and I was approved.
You are a bandwagon fan?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
She'll take it. Damn.
It's very important. I didn't want to do this without the blessing of the hot chick that's a Brewers fan. Now
you're official, and it's, you're now knighted.
I know. I don't know.
That's awesome.
I don't get it.
I don't know either, but she got 27,000 people. Again, when you're an attractive woman, you will get followers. There's that.
Yeah, if you're showing cleavage with your Brewers shirt.
I know, that's a...
I tried it. Didn't work.
No, I was about to say, time for you to get a Brewers shirt, Steve.
It's in the mail.
Yeah.
Not really.
It's a good picture, Megan. All right. Yesterday, Steve, he did get this one wrong.
Which band released the song Proud Mary in 1969?
Is that Janis Joplin?
No.
Rolling. Mamas and the Papas?
No.
Rolling. Oh, that was, of course, it's the Killers.
No.
Did they do a version of that song, Steve, that I don't know about?
No, I just wanted to throw out
because I kind of want to hear a version of the Killers doing the little Proud Mary. Because I'm hearing the voice thinking, you know what, that dude might be able to make it happen.
He's got pipes, that Brandon Flowers.
Yeah. All right, so we were looking for CCR. They were the guys. That's right. The Fogarty boys. You want a shot at beating Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs at 647 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. What's the difference between filing for bankruptcy and credit counseling?
Credit counseling is a useful process in some circumstances, but it does show up on your credit. In fact, from a credit scoring standpoint, credit counseling shows up just like a bankruptcy, so it's going to affect your credit as negatively as filing bankruptcy. In credit counseling, the idea is that a credit counselor works with your creditors on your behalf to try to lower interest rates or work out payment plans with your creditors to pay back your debt over time. In credit counseling, you almost always pay back 100% of the debt, sometimes at lower interest. And of course, some creditors will participate in that process and some won't. So you're usually left with kind of a mixed result with credit counseling and of course a high payment.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
Innovation, resilience, agility. It's how Michigan businesses continue to work together to make a difference now and shape the future. Join us and make your mark where it matters. Visit michiganbusiness.org/radio.